This is my audience. Have you ever wondered where we got our civilizations from and where they started? Today we will look at where Mexico got their civilization and beliefs from. Mexico got its living tiles and beliefs from a group called the Aztecs. The Aztecs came in the 13th century from the north, and they settled on islands around Lake Texcoco, where they created their capital city, Tenochtitlan, in 1325. The Aztecs were known for their agriculture, warfare, and their beliefs. First, we will look at the agriculture that the Aztecs used. According to History on the Net, the Aztecs often used terracing and chinampas for their most successful farming. Terracing was used by the Aztecs to increase the amount of farmland they had for farming. They would cut step-like platforms on the hillside to create more farmland. Their other way of farming was through chinampas. Chinampas were floating gardens that were built by piling mud from the bottom of the lake onto rafts to secure the garden beds. They were often separated through canals and often needed transportation like boats to access. The chinampas were used year-round and allowed multiple harvests each year. The chinampas are still sometimes used today. This is the chinampa bed, and this is the Aztec going and using the boat to access the chinampas. The Aztecs often grew sample crops that included corn, beans, and squash because they all helped each other grow. They also grew peppers, avocados, tomatoes, cotton, sweet potato, pigweed, pineapple, and flowers. This agriculture helped their populations and civilizations grow. Now that we looked over how agriculture helped them grow, let's look over how warfare helped them grow. According to Elias Beck, the Aztecs would use their military to secure and hold their power to expand their civilization. They would attack neighboring cities and force them to pay tribute to the Aztec capital city by sending goods and resources so that the Aztecs wouldn't attack them again. This was their key strategy to building their empire. The Aztecs would often battle in the Aztec Triple Alliance in battles called Flower Wars. The goal of these wars was not to kill the enemy, but to capture them so they could use them in human sacrifices. Using human sacrifices was a part of their religion, so let's look at their other beliefs. The Aztecs believed in polytheism and believed in gods and goddesses that each represented an aspect of life such as agriculture, war, sun, and death. The Aztecs also believed that the universe was created from the legend of the sun. This was a legend that explained the creation and destruction of the 5 suns. The 5 suns were each a symbol of a different god, and each god before had ended in violence, so they believed they needed to worship the 5th god with human sacrifices. According to History.com, Aztecs used human sacrifices to worship the sun god Tonatiuh because they believed that he would continue to offer warmth, light, and life. The prisoners of war were often used as these human sacrifices. Lastly, the Aztec used a calendar like Mesoamerica that was a 365-day cycle with a 260-day ritual cycle called the Tonalapalue cycle, which was often used as a way of planning important events such as weddings and overall the life cycle of an Aztec. Every 52 years, the cycle would return to the same position relative to each other, and that was celebrated with the new fire ceremony. In conclusion, the Aztecs started as a small civilization that expanded throughout the years with their use of agriculture, warfare, and religion, along with many other aspects. It is interesting to see how people today adapted to their way of living and how we still take some beliefs and traditions from the Aztecs and use them today and are still practiced in Mexico.